Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Violet Madness. Those of you who are just tuning in for the very first time, this is kind of partway through an already existing campaign. All of the previous episodes, which you can catch on YouTube under the Emerald Collective. But we will be doing a very comprehensive kind of recap episode here. This is our session 0, talking about the campaign so far, and all of our players' characters and their kind of opinions on kind of what's been going on, the story so far, kind of side quests, and kind of little nuggets of information that pertain to the overall story. Those of you who had been following previously when we were streaming over on Twitch, delighted to have you all back. You're in for quite a riveting second half to this story. I am your keeper. I was about to say keeper. I'm so used to call it Cthulhu. I am your DM, Mark, and I have been running the Violet Madness for this lovable band of adventurers. So we're going to be talking today a little bit about, as I said, the story and the characters, but I'll just go around the table and just introduce all of our players. So, Dave, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, I'm Dave, and I play Shadar Vicanis, Grave Domain Cleric of the Raven Queen. Shadar is a half-elf, and you'd place him at around 100 years of age. If it weren't for the fact that he was magically aged by an undead creature in an old manor house a long time ago, Shadar is actually only in his 30s and exists solely to destroy undead for the glory of the Raven Queen. Shadar has bright white hair and is typically dressed for battle in black leathers with a black chain shirt, and his trusty mace, which is also black. The wineskin is not, it's full of red wine.
Very good, thank you. Yes, it's been a long time since Mistmoor Manor now at this point, and Shadar has faced many a challenge since then. But
Yes.
we'll get more into that in just a few minutes. Stephen, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing. I'm Stephen, and this evening I'm playing Sir Tyrion Shadowbane. Tyrion is a human male, 27 years young. He's 6'2" and quite strapping, so he's told. Think of Prince Charming from Shrek meets Jaime Lannister. He is the chosen right hand of Torm and comes from a long line of paladins, so his self-righteousness and fury is unmatched to date.
Yes, indeed. There was quite a few scenes of Tyrion's tenacity and his intimidation throughout.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All to which Mina was very much enthralled.
And foes have been subjected to Tyrion's comprehensive line of questioning.
Building reputation as a sister slayer.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good name for a metal band too.
Oh my god. Not for a good guy though, like objectively.
Yeah.
The heroes of the realm, Sister Slayer.
Evil nuns are no joke.
No, sir. No, sir. Very good. Thank you. Matt, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, certainly. I'm Matt, and I'm playing Elfric, the wizard, a scholarly fellow, a little bit absent-minded, but with a penchant for destructive fire magic. He is, enjoying this quest so far. Hasn't been too bogged down in any personal turmoil, though he does seem to have picked up some pursuers of mysterious identity along the way, who I'm sure he will be looking forward to unveiling at some point.
Absolutely, yeah. It was Alfred was kind of just along for the ride up until recently ended episodes. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. Great, thanks, Matt. Next up, then, Ali.
Hello, everyone. I am Ali Marr. You might know me from some of my romance books, or from the Ladies of Lore podcast, or from other Emerald Collective podcasts. Today, I play Mina Dumont. She is a 50-year-old half-elf with tawny beige skin and long brown curly hair. She's got a happy attitude and a sunny smile and dark powers of shadows and whispers. She's a College of Whispers bard. She wears riding leathers with a drum on her hip and a pep in her step. And well, some secrets in her shadows that the party has started to uncover with mixed results. The party has seen a bit of her magic, though the true extent of her powers don't seem to have been revealed yet. Maybe she'll use more of them soon.
Maybe we will. And Yeah, great. Next up, then, last but not least, should I say, a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Ryan.
Hi guys, I'm Ryan, aka Deranged Rhino, as most of you know by now. And for this game, I am going to be playing Damien Phileas Venus. Hello, my darlings. He's a 6 foot tall red tiefling of athletic build. You might also be able to hear Bodhi under my desk. That's cool if you can. And
Bodhi is role playing as Rocket.
yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, so I'm a red, athletic toned tiefling with slick back hair and also a rather dashing little vest and suit piece that he wears most of the time. He is also accompanied by his ever faithful companion, Rocket, who is a steel defender of his own making.
Absolutely. Rocket's been the MVP in a couple of encounters as well, hasn't he?
He knows his stuff, all right. He definitely knows his stuff.
Very good. And with the characters introduced, then let's, I suppose, kind of break down the campaign up to this point. So just to kind of give, I suppose, anyone who is new to this game a general kind of overview of what this story is all about, and of course, any returning listeners, a gentle reminder. The story itself takes place in the nation of Castonia, which is an empire in the heartland of the continent of Varelia. In the nation of Castonia, within its 4 dukedoms, the story begins in the Fenwell dukedom in Grendel, and all of our adventurers were invited to a play for one of many reasons, depending on each of their kind of backgrounds and their reason for visiting the town. During the performance, after the first act ended, our heroes noticed something strange happening on stage when the stage hands came on to, change the set and the scene. They noticed that they were forming some sort of strange kind of circle around the stage, but before any of them could act, it was too late. A ritual had been performed and everyone blacked out. Moments later, everybody woke up. The entire theater covered in this fungal growth, stretching and crumbling along all the furniture, and there were amidst the chaos only a few survivors. Not just our heroes, but some others as well. This fungal entity that had overcome the theater seemed to writhe and move as if it was sentient in some sort of way. Alas, these strange horrors seem to emerge and have overrun the town itself overcome with this fungal growth. And after clearing and escorting the Duke, who was also one of the other survivors, out of the town, the heroes realized that they were unconscious for nearly 3 months. How they sustained that length in such a condition, unbeknownst to them. Then they realized that the entire Fenwell dukedom, and even maybe some areas outside of the dukedom, stretching into the others, have become riddled with this plague, which swiftly took in the name the Violet Madness. Some sort of magical disease that sends the afflicted into a maddening rage, only to be eventually overcome by this fungus, and they just turn into these husks, mindless husks. After successfully escorting the Duke to the nearest town, the party sadly lost one of their companions who was traveling with them, Christina, a druid, who perished in the mills by the hands of a banshee. Only to later find that Shadar noticed there was some strange goings-on in the town where the children had gone missing. And going up into the mountains after discovering the children's whereabouts, it was indeed some hags had gotten a hold of them. The hags turned out to be connected to one Lady Esmeralda, a harrowing figure from Shadar's past, and also hinted at the the nature of Shadar's sisters, who he had not seen in quite some time. They were in league with Esmeralda and had evidently become hags themselves. And just to kind of, I suppose, pause the recap there, just to kind of capture a little bit of Shadar's background. Dave, do you want to kind of elaborate a little bit more on kind of what was going on with Shadar there?
Yeah, no worries. The story goes that Shadar was he was born as the third child, and is born to nobility and raised with 3 older sisters. He was the youngest of 4. He had a difficult childhood as he never knew his father, and his 3 sisters harbored a deep dislike for him, often playing cruel and sadistic tricks and ruining friendships he'd made in school, and even once hanging the family pet and laying the blame at Shadar's feet, which caused him to become a deeply introspective and very quiet child. The less he was seen and heard from, sort of the easier his life seemed to him. He often dreamed, say, of his father's return, who had gone off in some crusade looking for some legendary weapons and armor. But his father never returned. He would have attended the local school in the city, but his sisters were tutored privately by a well-known old wise woman from a few miles away, and she showed up on the night the triplets were born, his 3 sisters, claiming that they'd been conceived under a powerful auspice and that they required a very certain type of education. Sort of in order to harness and control the power that this old woman claimed lived within them. Shadar's mother, she was afraid of this old woman, who I'm not going to say was a hag, but is a hag. And she hastily agreed. So you don't say no to a hag. The woman was a wizard. She was a withered old crone, and she recognized the children's sort of cruel nature when she first heard their cries in the wind as they were born, and immediately set out in a trek to Vicanis Manor on the orders of her patron to find and recruit them. Over the years, the woman taught them mathematics, the basics of wizardry, and gave them a solid foundation in a lot of other disciplines that at the time women had no business knowing. And when they turned 13, the old crone taught the girls a ritual through which they would first contact their patron, an ancient lich that had been sealed away in a forgotten temple several hundred years ago, right at the point of an invocation that would have seen it become a god. The adventuring party responsible for defeating that lich had then collapsed the temple from the inside, destroying themselves, but ensuring the lich's final imprisonment. Over the next few weeks, the girls followed their instructions and laid a series of cursed stones throughout the city and at key points around the graveyard. In the culmination of the old woman's plan, they completed a ritual that reanimated the entirety of the city graveyard. And in a cruel twist of that ritual, the hardworking men and women of the city were hunted down and murdered by their own deceased members of their families. Their ancestors would sort of unerringly find their way to the living members of the family, and they were sort of they were bound and to wipe them out. So obviously those ancestors returned from the grave. They were compelled to seek out and tear apart those that carried their family name. Sons and daughters watched horrified as the shambling and sometimes unnaturally fast remains, which I'm still waiting for Mark to throw in, fast zombies, fast remains of their parents and grandparents came for them and seemed to take a sick glee in cruelly dismembering and devouring their own descendants. Shadar's mother hid in the vault, and she brought Shadar with her, but it wasn't long before the remains of Shadar's family and his 3 sisters were beating against the door. Just it's the sound of wet flesh and breaking bones. These ancestors, these sort of zombified creatures, were just kept incessantly thudding on the doors. She handed him a thin black rod that thrummed with their sort of cold power and whispered to him how to use it. And she pointed to his grandfather's warhammer and promised that it would protect Shadar if he had the will to use it. And then she turned to leave the famous Vicanis vault and began to oversee her guards' response to the threat. Anyway, long story short, the mother was murdered as well, and through the magic, she reanimated straight away and began singing to Shadar through the door and all of the nursery rhymes that he would have heard as a child, and begging him to come out, and she'd make it quick, and then she'd laugh and say that she wouldn't make it quick, she'd make it as long as possible. All the while, the three sisters were outside the vault as well. And yeah, the time was running out. I think they summoned some sort of large elemental that was starting to break through the door, but he used the rod and he disappeared and reappeared in the Temple of the Raven Queen, which was in, what's the name of the capital city?
Heathcote.
In Heathcote. So so fast forward 8 years from that, Shadar was an acolyte of the Raven Queen, and he was attached to a war party that had been tasked with purifying an old country manor, a place called Mistmoor. It turned out that, and this is something we haven't gotten into yet, it turned out that for all intents and purposes, the challenge rating of the mission that he was sent on was vastly higher than was communicated to him and the priests that he accompanied as an acolyte, and they were all wiped out except for Shadar, who was aged 120 years, and he managed to crawl back, his fingernails like 120 years longer, his toenails bursting through his boots, his hair like down past his waist, touching the ground, all the rest of it, and
which completely ruined his Raven Queen Crocs, by the way.
Absolutely, pretty much. So yeah,
it never fails to like ruin my lunch whenever Dave talks about this.
I was looking at your screen when he said it.
Yeah,
it's funny because I'm always like, why? He's like, oh yeah, his fingernails and his toes.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm like, ah.
I hate this shit. Like where like you've been aged 120 years and there's no physical effects. It's just like you got some crinkly eyes and that's it. No, your fucking age, all like you your body does 120 years of growing.
10 pounds of eyelashes.
Yeah, it's exactly like big giant shit, and then you
can't
fucking
breathe through your nose anymore. No, I love Dave. Don't get me wrong.
So
every single time this happens, I just like,
I love how Dave's doing it to you in this campaign with Shadar, and I'm doing it to you in the other campaign with Bugs.
Right? Like, come on, guys.
But yeah, the long and the short of it is, the city was just completely destroyed. He never went back, and he deliberately sort of tried to avoid it. And sort of hoped he'd never see his sisters again. This is Mark's world, so of course he was going to see his sisters again, and and so he did. But luckily,
don't see many more.
No, he made new friends, which he didn't really want to make at the start. He was in he was at the he was at the theater show Rock of Ages, I do believe it was, or ROC, and he was thrust into this sort of life-changing and world-changing situation with all of these people.
Sorry to interrupt again.
Yeah.
Do we want to do backstories like until the game and then talk about all the game stuff together? I'm just thinking if everyone tells their during game stuff, it's going to be like the same thing from different perspectives, which should be fine, but we might as well just talk about it all at the same time.
Yeah, maybe that bit can be a bit more collaborative, kind of everyone.
Yeah. After we wind up with the first episode, like. Yeah, cool. Well, that's why I'm like happy to leave it out then. Like just leave it up to where I was going to stop.
Didn't mean to cut you off. I was just
that's
thinking,
okay.
Like,
Didn't
him having friends.
Cut you off. So
like your fingernails.
Yes.
Nothing cut off here.
That was a hardcore moment. They actually had to use a chisel and a mace.
See, you don't have to. See, these are details I did not need. No. I was making half a step forward to meet you at your long fingernails, and then you just went 3 steps forward. Like, come on, meet me where I am.
It was actually one of them wheeled grinding stones that blacksmiths used to sharpen.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah. So basically, he didn't really want to be hanging out with these people, because he like Shadar always worked alone. He's level 12 now. He's a big deal in the Temple of the Raven Queen, and they'd often send him out on his own to sort shit out, which is his kind of preference. But he would always insist on being put up in the finest inn in the town or city, or if there wasn't a finest inn, then he would subtly suggest that the mayor or burgomaster maybe donate their chambers to him, and so on and so forth, which they usually invariably did. But Shadar likes his comforts. He doesn't like camping. He doesn't like nights where we have to camp or like stay off the side of the road. although he will do it, he won't complain. But inside he likes his luxuries. He likes his wine. He carries a wine skin. Likes to drink in the mornings. Likes to drink. Just keep a steady buzz. And he hates kids.
Oh yeah, we did establish that. Yeah, the kids. Yeah.
I think especially he hates that we can no longer like burn them at the stake or something. He was very specific about
Well,
it.
yeah, I
in the
mean-
first few episodes.
Well, like I think at one point we met a possessed child, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, back in the good old days, Shadar. I mean that child would have been burnt at the stake, and good enough for it. The demon expelled and the evil purged.
A cleansing, if you will.
A cleansing, my friend. Yes. And that's Shadar.
Yeah, like I mean, that's where kind of Shadar's kind of side story kind of kicked off.
I think the only thing you're missing is that Shadar's also very excited to like die and meet the Raven Queen.
That's
Just-
very true.
That's a great point.
Like core tenet of his personality that you kind of miss. Like he gets hit in combat and he's like, yes,
Yes, this is
one
very
step
true.
closer.
His greatest wish is to die in service of the Raven Queen and join her queue and be judged and sent on to his eternal reward. He does believe everything. Obviously everything will die, but he takes solace in that. It's almost like you're on the shittiest roller coaster in the fucking world, and but you know that there is an end to it. Yeah, and that's what comforts him greatly. Is that all this shit and all this pain and all this suffering, it will always end. And yeah, and he's more than happy to send people to meet the Raven Queen.
And he's done that on many an occasion so far.
Yes, my friend.
Yeah, like I mean, that's kind of where Shadar's, I suppose, backstory was introduced to the campaign, and I suppose it was there at that time fighting those hags that the party was introduced to Damon, who was kind of back in town and wondered what the whole kind of hubbub was about, why four interestingly dressed individuals ran towards the mountains. Damon quickly followed, and I suppose it came to light after Damon lended a hand in that battle against the hags, which of course you all emerged victorious. That Damon was actually, he was in Grendel too, he had just arrived in town. He was just a little bit behind and woke up a little later than everybody else. He was actually living in Grendel for quite some time. And I suppose as the story went, the Duke had tasked the adventuring party with getting to Pethlin. But before they accepted and took on that task, there was also a doctor in town who was quite well versed and educated on this disease and was trying to help ease the suffering of those afflicted. Although he couldn't save them, he lacked the resources and I suppose the insight or knowledge to create a cure. He quickly caught the attention of the adventuring party and asked for their aid. Where he actually gave them the strange task of retrieving tissue samples from a living infected sample, but not in any ordinary sense. They needed to be shrunk down super, super small to retrieve actual samples from the lungs of a patient. So that was a nice little kind of side quest into the human body, where you were fighting, kidney stone golems and hemogoblins and I think there was a poo elemental in there as well.
Oh god.
And excremental.
Yeah.
Excremental.
If I remember correctly, this was like main quest for me because the
It was
guy
kinda
that we
main
had gone
quest, yeah.
into was the only one who had potentially seen
Right,
my
I
horse,
think you
my
recall.
lovely horse. So I don't know what you're talking about side quest over there. That was clearly the most important thing going on.
Let's actually talk about Mina and her
Oh,
horse.
let's
side
not.
Yeah.
because that was
What was the horse's name again?
And the
Was it-
foreshadowing of the name,
Meal.
which was Meal. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Meal.
glue.
it's,
Sorry, okay.
It's becoming Meal at some point.
Meal.
Listen, just because none of you speak Spanish doesn't mean my horse's name is food.
Okay, that's fair.
but no, let's talk about that side quest because that was a really good one actually. So Mina has not had a
Has,
horse. Yeah,
with an
has.
S.
Present tense. a horse called Meal, and when Meal was initially kind of holed up in the stables in Grendel. So, of course, when Mina woke up, she was quite concerned about the welfare of her horse, only to find that it was no longer there. But no remains of an animal were to be found either. It was
In fact, there was a lovely stable hand that was like,
Mm.
oh, I remember, like the stallion who was a bit temperamental. Some guy came and stole him. And I was like, excuse me?
So we had to track him down, didn't we?
We had to track him down, obviously.
And we did. Soon, very early on into actually your adventure to Pethlin.
Ah, yes, and then we met Brady.
Brady, the horse thief.
Yeah.
What ensued there was a very interesting way of winning back Meal, a horse race, if I do recall. But there was some dodgy
Cheating
dealings
involved.
there was cheating involved with the bandits. But Alfric took a quick stop to that by introducing walls of fire and whatnot, and telekinetically shoving bandits off the cliff.
You got to obey the rules.
You got to hey, look, they broke the rules first.
Infractions will not be tolerated. There are no yellow cards.
Well, you had sculpt spells, so you only bended the rules. You didn't break them.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
I did find it hilarious that they were like, oh, we're going to slow you down by cutting, taking shortcuts and shooting an arrow at you. And Alfric was like, how about the very powers of telepathy and fire for rule breakers?
Yeah, there's levels to this.
Yeah,
Proper escalations were followed.
They should have read the room before they decided to cheat, maybe. I don't know.
I'm a stickler for the rules.
Alfric's second passion is magic and rules.
Yeah.
So yeah, did you want me to hop into my backstory now? Because nobody
Absolutely
knows
do.
it really.
Yeah,
we all do, because I think we'd all love to know what the fuck is going on with Mina.
I
You
mean,
can
I'm
tell
not
as much
telling.
as no,
Know
you
what
can
I
tell
mean?
as much as what's been kind of let on so far.
I was going to say, we're kind of sticking to stuff that's been revealed in game, right?
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wasn't joking.
Yeah. See, I've revealed so very little. I'm not quite sure what I've told. So,
You're in line with a hag.
I am not in. We revealed that I was not under a zone of truth.
She's actually
spell.
a warlock.
Yes,
Like
a warlock.
literally.
Yeah.
We could let that lie with all of the YouTube stuff. So Mina Dumont is from the city of Sapphire Songbirds, which is Aston. And Aston's located kind of in the northeast of the map in the Colomus Dukedom. And it's a seaside city. She's a very big fan of kind of singing and dancing the night away, sailing on ships. We revealed in the game that she's actually quite an expert on navigating ships. And so that came out. Let's see. She was married to the Lord Dumont, Robert Dumont, who unfortunately was killed in the Red War. I don't think she said explicitly how he was killed yet, but he was killed in the beginning of the Red War. And taking that opportunity to leave the dukedom behind, Mina started traveling around. She ended up in a place called the Red Bone Barrow for exactly 6 hours.
Blackbone Barrow.
Oh,
actually.
sorry.
Yeah.
She ended up in Blackbone Barrow for exactly 6 hours, and it became like a whole thing with the party. Don't worry about it. It's not important. But anyway, she was traveling around. She ended up in Grendel to see a show. And then everything went black when she got her vision again. She found Shadar pulling her from the rubble, and someone had stolen her horse. And that's about it. She is a College of Whispers bard, so she's very good at people and talking to people. Evading the truth, I guess, is a word. Maybe I wouldn't quite say that. She's good at giving away selective information.
Being economical with the truth.
Yeah, being economical with information. And I think that's about it before we get into shenanigans with the party.
Okay. Well, it was from there, after securing a meal, I suppose the adventure went on, and I suppose it was around that time as well that Sir Tyrion went investigating a crypt, as it were, and
Oh, yes, the
suppose
mysterious, like people just randomly digging endless pits in dungeons and graves, and that's apparently common. Mina has not been a dungeon delver, but Sir Tyrion over there has been.
Born and bred.
yeah, so the whole prospect of let's go down into this clearly man-made subterranean danger zone, and there's nothing completely strange about that at all. This is Mina's first, I suppose, outing as a D&D adventure, as it were. But within this crypt, it seemed to be some sort of challenge for paladins, particularly those of Torm, a test of faith. In the very literal sense, it required Sir Tyrion to take a leap of faith and cross an invisible bridge over to the other side of the crypt, and in doing so found nothing but a little lectern with a bound book and a coffin, a stone coffin. In the coffin was a piece of ornate armor, and in the ledger was a little bit of information about a group of paladins' quest for vengeance. And in that was a name that Tyrion was very, very familiar with. Stephen, if you'd like to get into a little bit of that.
Well,
floor is
sure.
open.
In this crypt that Mina definitely didn't want to go into, but had no choice because everyone else is well established with going into the dark, scary places, was the casket, coffin, sarcophagus of Willem Rockbreaker, who had a nice, tidy little journal, which just so happened to be filled with this was the last tale of him and his own traveling companions. And it was while reading this journal that Tyrion unknowingly discovered that this was a companion of his great-grandfather, Pembroke the Potent, and that the reason his grandfather died was on one last hurrah mission with these gentlemen, and they were going to cause vengeance for him, as that was his oath. Yeah, it's kind of runs in the family that in every generation a male is sent off to the temple to become an acolyte, go down the cleric view, or if they are capable, become a paladin. And the main point of their training is to protect everyone that's come before them. He comes from a long line of paladins, but the distinction is when they take their oath and finish their squiredom and become a full-fledged paladin, they have to melt down their signet ring, and it becomes a part of a link of a chain around the temple they all serve. So to see his grandfather's name was or his great-grandfather, I should say, was more than a little shocking. And that just kind of started his quests and kind of aligned to 2 or 3 other companions' quests to find this Esmeralda, an ancient hag with more powers than we're aware, I think, who just so aligns to live in Blackbone Barrow, where Mina spent 6 hours and doesn't think it's significant.
Yeah.
Most powerful hag, sire of a lich in the
Listen,
continent.
it's not my fault that your family decided to go into the scary abandoned place. I stayed out of the scary abandoned place.
It was just summer camp for her, that's all.
Yeah, Tyrion's family vacations in the 9 hells, like.
See, that sounds like a you problem.
His current armor is tarnished from the flames of hell.
Offered to help. Just because I knew your name and knew the Blackbone doesn't mean anything suspicious. They were just 2 coincidences.
We found out Tyrion's name, wasn't it? Tyrion Gentleborn.
It was disclosed under
distress,
just like Carmina.
Just like Carmina,
yeah.
It was disclosed under a, not going to say contract because it's a bit warlocky, but under an agreement that.
Okay. Oh, look at this.
It was under a gentleman's agreement that should the name ever be uttered and disclosed as family.
Involved? There's only one gentleman involved. And not sure he's a
Ooh.
gentle man so much as a gentle born. Anyway, as an aside, yeah, we all know his name now. It wasn't exactly a great kept secret once we got to the graveyard, and it was right there on the graveyard.
Literally set in stone.
Literally set in stone.
Up until then, nobody knew who he was. He was Sir Tyrion Shadowbane to his friends, or Sir Tyrion the Child Killer to
Child
groups of people.
Slayer. You were a child slayer. That's what they called you.
Strangely, the only name that wasn't at the cemetery was actually Damon's. Everyone else's was.
I'm sure your name was there. It was just one of the other ones.
I think so too. Yeah.
No.
Seth and Ryan just smiling. Seth and Ryan just smiling at each other.
I mean, listen, if those hags decided to put everyone's name on the graveyard that were the good guys and your name wasn't there, I'm suddenly suspicious about you.
Oh shit.
Go for it.
I think it would suit Mina though to redirect the gaze of suspicion.
What whispers bard would do that?
Maybe Esmeralda just put the names of people on the headstones that had something to hide.
Yeah.
Maybe.
See what I did there? Diverted suspicion off Damon.
I was going to say, you think Shadar had anything to hide? Dude met us and was like, I'm a loner. And then the very next day was like, I'm such a sad boy who just wants to die.
Yeah, he's still a loner. Just, you know,
He
still
wants to die.
believing.
Shadar is the black cat that doesn't want you to pet him, but will never leave your house, even though it's a stray.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah,
He's
Shadar
the
is
kind of black
Thackeray
cat who
Binks.
thinks the black cat that thinks he owns the house and the human is the pet.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. He doesn't believe in keeping secrets either, though. He you know, whatever he told Mina, he eventually told everyone anyway. You know, so it was.
I mean,
It
if you
kind of-
ask me a question, I'll give you an answer.
It just won't be the truthful one.
Yeah, hang on.
Hold on. You had me under a zone of truth.
Oh,
You just didn't ask the right questions.
Ah.
There was a bit of an altercation between Shadar and Mina, though, as well, wasn't there?
What's that?
Oh yeah,
was-
Shadar
there was
was
a bit of-
worse than Sir Tyrion. Taking
There was a
out
bit of an
mace.
altercation there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe spoilers there. Are we introducing Mr. Damon's background?
I will be talking a little bit about Damon as well, and Alfric, of course.
Oh yes.
But I suppose just to wrap up with the progress on Sir Tyrion's
Yeah. Didn't mean to skip you, buddy.
side. No, not at all. We're kind of there's a little bit more to it than that. When you got to the city of Merrin, on the way to Pethlin as well, a second crypt was discovered, and a second piece of Pembroke's armor was discovered.
Indeed, this time in the tomb of Gromar the Unyielding. Yes. So he currently has the pauldrons and the breastplate recovered, and he's been informed that with these, there's, I believe, 2 more
There are 2 more.
comrades. And if he is capable of gathering all 4 pieces, that this could be his greatest line of defense in recovering his family's honor. So 2 down, 2 to go.
Yes, sir.
Also, I feel like we can't talk about your backstory without talking about how much of a badass your great grandmother was.
Oh yeah. Oh well. One of the reasons I should say that Tyrion's name is such a secret is because, well, when you spend your days traveling to the hells and slaughtering any kind of undead being, foe, devil, demon, that if they can find your home address, it's kind of a big deal. But his grandfather had spent years doing the same thing, and one evening heard a noise down in what would be the kitchen in the manor, and he went down to investigate, and he took slightly longer than his great grandmother would have likened. So that's the position. Belmont had gone down to check the kitchen. Belmont the Brave in his adventuring days. And no, it wasn't. That was Pembroke. Pembroke was the one. I'm reading the wrong fucking line. Pembroke went down to check the kitchen, and he was taking longer, and there was suddenly a crash. And when his wife, his great grandmother, Irina, went down to check on him, excuse me, he was skewered by a demon in the kitchen held aloft. And in an almighty rage, Irina reached up to the hearth, which would be the cooking hearth, the main fire pit for the kitchen, was Pembroke's sword hanging over it, and she grabbed it and screamed with such ferocity. Torm himself turned his gaze to her and emboldened her with enough power to strike the devil down in a single swing and banish it back to the hells. Fortunately, that doesn't permanently kill them because you have to kill them in their own plane. But it did the job. But since that moment, Irina has been blessed and is currently 136 years old and serving in the Temple of Torm, scolding acolytes and squires alike.
She's definitely put in the hours at this stage then.
What was her name?
Irina.
Very well. And then I suppose, yeah, that was all in Mirren. And after that, that's when you guys crossed the lake into Leyden, where Shadar, we were just talking about the graveyard, well, your name's etched on it. You went to the deserted, decrepit, and derelict town of Leyden, where Shadar's sisters were laying in wait. And within
If
the
you're
town,
not willing to kill your buddy's sisters, are you even buddies?
Well, that's
Well,
it. Like,
this is
because Shadar swore that he would end their lives, and just I think if he knew that he was part of a D&D game, and let's just set the dice roll, yeah, little part of him he would be okay, but a little part of him is like, he's glad they're dead, but he would have preferred to have got the killing blows himself. But such
Yes,
as
It was an intense situation.
Yeah,
it was
such
Tyrion
is
that got
the way
the
of
killing blow, but I suppose
blows.
yeah. But just before I get onto that, when you guys all arrived in Leyden, it wasn't just a clear-cut path direct to the old battered temple of the Raven Queen.
Yeah.
The Vicanus triplets decided to have some fun and games, which are taking a trip down memory lane, taking them to the old Vicanus Manor, to the old schoolhouse, to Leyden Quarry, all significant places in Shadar's past, where they were met with grueling challenges, both physical challenges and mental ones.
And grueling messages.
And indeed, it was at that point then where access to the Temple of the Raven Queen was granted, and that was where you all saw your names and headstones, except for Daemon, of course. However, the vengeance upon the Vicanus sisters was eventually dealt, but they killed Shadar first with the power word kill spell.
He was at
yeah.
He was at full hit points. 99 out of 100, but I do believe power word kill. Like, so Shadar's max hit points. And if this is just through like, he is a +3 in con. I do believe I took average for a lot of them, and I rolled for one or two of them when I created the characters. We all created 12 level characters, and Shadar's max hit points worked out at 99, and power word kill wipes anything out below 100 hit points. So the dice gods knew what the fuck was going on there when I created Shadar.
And even with that, I think you had to roll. Oh no, it just happens. There's
Just
no,
happens. It just
no save involved or anything.
Out. And that was the best thing that could have ever happened to Shadar.
Both Alfric and I were 35 feet away. Neither one of us were able to counterspell it.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't even attempt to.
It was a 9th level spell, a boon granted upon the sisters by Esmeralda. And I suppose, yeah, it was at that point that Shadar did join the queue, but not in the manner he'd liked. He was being fast-tracked to the front, but something held him back. Something brought him back. And for that fleeting moment where Shadar's allies saw his lifeless body on the floor, his eyes opened, and
Mina didn't see.
I did not
correct.
see.
Yeah,
It was only one or two people that saw.
I think it was just Daemon, Elfric, maybe Tyrion.
Tyrion was taking heads.
Yeah.
Although Tyrion did say that if Shadar died, he would have brought him back in against his wishes.
That's right.
But someone bet him to it because it was actually Shadar's father, or an avatar or spirit. Yeah, something something more otherworldly or ethereal or something else, but couldn't quite put a pin on it. All that Shadar was able to glean is that his father was somehow kind of alive but not alive, and
it's another reason I hate his dad.
Yeah, there you go. But with his aid, and of course with the aid of his allies, they were able to vanquish the sisters.
And Mina saying no to Esmeralda, I feel like we should
Oh,
I was,
yeah.
I
That
was
in
just
there
about
as
to get
well.
onto that. Yeah,
Pop that in there.
I was just gonna slap that one in there. That is a vital plot point. Yes, indeed, Esmeralda whispered in Mina's ear, detecting the level of, I suppose, aptitude for your particular skills. Let's just leave it at that. That Esmeralda was interested in you and offered you.
You can't.
Power.
Mina told Shadar. She was like, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's this. And you're like, speak plainly, woman.
Yeah, because so Mina is an expert in sort of meandering and speaking in circles, and I think this happened. I'm not sure this happened. I think this might, but it might be that. I'm not sure if it's that. And that's like, and Shadar was at the end of his tether, just having just seen the Raven Queen and just joined the queue, and then fucking whipped away.
In this particular instance, Mina was just trying to find the words, which makes it hilarious because Mina was just like, I'm not an evil hag.
How she prevaricates.
Who?
Sounded very similar. It sounded very similar to how she can usually prevaricate and deftly sidestep. There was, if one were to sort of wrap them both up and put a gift tag on them both, the gift tag would read the same exact thing. I mean, regardless of what's in the box, I think she sounded exactly the same to Shadar as she always does when she's trying to deftly avoid a question. So he was not in the mood of it, and so yeah, he had a little bit of an outburst.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Anyway, sorry, I keep jumping. I'm so excited to play this game again. I keep jumping in. But yes, so I believe it was right before we fought Esmeralda. Kind of, not sure. So we fought the three sisters, and then they like combined into one giant evil entity,
like an aspect of Esmeralda kind of thing.
Yeah.
For anyone listening, Mark loves the 2-stage boss.
Oh, I'm all about two phases of a boss fight.
This isn't even my final form.
Now it can fly. Fuck.
He did that with the Tarrasque.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true, actually. Yeah.
I've chased the lich around the room for 45 minutes before.
But let's be honest, like
yeah.
of all of Shadar's story moments that have happened, his dead sisters, his dead dad coming back to help, the hags, everything, the worst moment by far had to be the fact that he rolled poorly and didn't get the information from the Raven.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I was gutting.
So Mark, you had a Raven show up before we got to the temple,
but right outside the doors,
just
waiting for you in a tree.
It was like, yeah, it was a lore laden pigeon or raven, and
had a big exclamation mark over its head.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't matter.
And all I had to do was roll a wisdom check, wasn't it?
Yeah. And as a cleric, should be a doddle, right?
I've got so let's just roll a wisdom check now. I've got +5.
It doesn't matter when you roll an at 1.
It would have been 13. So but
Which
yeah,
you
on the other side of the fucking advantage there is a nat 1. So I rolled a nat 1 on a wisdom check.
You've got Alan Poe crying behind the fucking tree waiting to tell you lore.
It was meant to be.
I think so. I like the narrative dice. I trust in them.
Although in the fight, Damon did burst out wings.
Yes.
Like, we're just supposed to
ignore
that.
No, we're not going to. Let's, I suppose, let's kind of jump over to Damon a little bit then, I suppose.
Just gotta say, there's that misdirection again.
I've been talking this entire time.
Yeah, so Damon, our artificer, he's quite an eccentric and interesting character, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't say eccentric, because eccentric means you got money. He's just pure crazy. That's the difference between the person that's crazy and eccentric. One has money, one does not. So yeah, he's just crazy. No, he's all right. He's living for life, and he's got his friend, and he was tasked with a job, which was to escort and look after a young man by the name of Alfric when he returned, or when he arrived in Grendel.
That was tasked to you by Gelfand Illimis, a very powerful wizard.
Yeah.
And dear friend of yours.
Exactly.
Who's missing.
I love how powerful wizards are real, like, hey, do this thing that I could probably get done in 30 seconds, but too busy. I need you to do it.
He's not missing. He's here in the place where we are going to be starting off our next
Pethlin.
session.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, he had to run to Pethlin to do some emergency business. Didn't want Alfric to arrive and to not know what the hell was going on. So that was my task, was to see to Alfric's needs while he was here.
But something happened before you could meet up with Alfric, right?
Yeah. This was before the theatre performance, I believe. If I've got my timeline right. Damon
you're
saw
correct.
some shifty looking folks going into the theatre and sneaking in and trying to see what they were up to. They eventually ambushed him, and one who was very much considerably larger than him smashed him over the head, to which he then found himself awoken sometime after the theatre performance and everyone leaving, as in the rest of the party when they woke up and left. And I was basically folded in two into a box.
So someone actually put Damon back in his box.
They
Put
did,
it in
yeah.
the I think the only person who's ever put him back in his
He's
box.
never going to let that happen again.
What's in the box? It's a folded up Damon, apparently. Put the Damon back in the box.
Turned the tiefling into a halfling by folding him.
Yeah, essentially.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just very grateful that Damon's quite flexible in that way, you know?
So wait, what happened to Rocket when you were put in a box?
Was on charge.
Yeah.
No, so Rocket was actually still at Galfon's at the time,
Ah.
because Damon was heading to the theatre to stand and wait for Alfric's arrival, and it was because he saw these shifty guys go in that he went in after them. Otherwise, he would have been in the same position as you guys.
Very true. And I suppose it's important to note as well that Damon, you realize that these two that ambushed you were actually drow in kind of darkish blue robes.
Oh, yes.
Similar to the people in darkish blue robes that you were pursuing
Yes.
throughout the adventure.
Yeah. And they also had the fungal growth on their faces and that before
Correct, yeah.
this outbreak had actually happened, which says that they had been the ones to instigate this fungal infection.
Which was the same as the people we had been chasing. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I think we caught up to them. We were just after them in one of the towns, right? They'd got
Yep.
there just before us on horses and stuff like that.
the town where we had the guy, the little mini adventure.
Yeah, it wasn't Hetplay, was it? It was. That's where we are. No, we're at Pethlin now. Was that Hetplay? No, it wasn't Hetplay.
We're in yeah, we're in Pethlin now.
Yeah. Anyway, so we caught up to them. Sort of. We were
Fenlis.
just behind them. Yes,
that was
Fenlis,
it.
Yeah.
Fenlis. We were just behind
Everything
them.
happened in Fenlis.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, we haven't caught up to him yet. Actually, no, didn't we catch up to him at the crossroads?
Kingdom's Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So one of those two drow you actually did encounter. And I suppose just sidestepping another little bit, he was standing in the center of Kingdom's Cross, a little kind of literally a crossroads village connecting four of the major cities around Castonia. But he was holding some of the residents hostage, trying to weed out Alfric, of all people.
Indeed.
Very interested in Alfric. And it was just earlier as well, crossing through the swamplands, that you saw your name kind of written in violet fungus on the wall. So, yeah, you were aware that there were people looking for you, but now you had a name, Durden the Shadowblade, a drow looking for you. But unfortunately, you didn't really get much time to question him because he was frozen and shattered to a million pieces.
Indeed, yeah.
But yeah, how about I suppose maybe a little blurb about Alfric?
Yes, so as we have already established, he is a wizard, a scholarly type. He's not a native to these lands, but he's been here for some time and kind of has acquaintances in the various sort of spellcasting circles and conclaves and colleges and that kind of thing. And one such of those acquaintances was the sort of Grand Wizard Elemis, one of the most sort of foremost magical authorities in the land, with whom he was looking to meet with, but obviously that got a little bit waylaid with Damon being sent in his stead. But sadly, before we could meet, obviously, everything kind of kicked off. And Alfric's interest is sort of half scholarly. He's kind of as fascinated by the Violet Madness as he is concerned about it. And although he's sort of an academic and a scholar, he's not averse to doing a bit of field work and getting his hands dirty. So he's been getting stuck in, but rather perturbed by these mysterious assailants that are now on his tail, but for reasons that are as yet unknown to him.
It's still unclear as to what's kind of going on there, and you're dead right. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's not afraid to get reducing people to ash either. With the disintegrate spell.
Extreme circumstances require,
Yes.
drastic actions.
Absolutely.
Like rule breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that kind of brings us almost up to the present. Just a couple of little more points to kind of cover. It was in Kingdom's Cross as well that we were introduced to Joris Roche, a very dashing young man who had taken a shine to Mina, actually, and was very interested in how she helped out in...
Oh, Mark's Spanish.
Yeah. I tried.
It's
No,
fun.
I loved it.
It's fantasy Spanish, so it can
Fantasy
be a little bit
Spanish.
off.
Castonian dialect, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Estonia.
Oh, so it's
Did I
my
ever tell-
Castonian that's terrible.
Did I ever tell you that everyone in Castonia has a flat Tipperary accent? So, but yeah, we were introduced to Joris Roche, who is
Who
seemingly
gave me a baby?
Yeah, so
Not how you think.
not how you think, but Tyrion would tell you otherwise. You were basically entrusted in this confusion, the scramble. The town guard were chasing after this woman, and she just like thrust a baby into Mina's arms and told her to hold on to the baby, and she rushed, and Joris came, and you could almost see him weep and his lips tremble, and Mina kind of pointed in the direction to where the guards ran off. And later that night, with the baby back in, I suppose, safe care, Joris gave his thanks and I suppose kind of told Mina that he's this kind of grand kind of freedom fighter for injustice against his people. And
Oh,
that
yes. I remember this.
the guard, the army, the Castonian army, Castonian guard, they're him and his people who hail from kind of like the Ambersand Isle, which is an island off Castonia. There was like a history of war there where there was a lot of kind of bad blood for a number of years, and Joris is kind of this, I suppose, this man of the people of Ambersand in Castonia, which gave him a funny nickname, the Man on Fire.
El Fogante.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah, El Hombre Fuegante. Gave him that funny nickname. But yeah, he's a man of the people, lives to serve, and has been indebted to Mina, and has actually asked her to meet up with him in Pethlin, because that's where he was heading.
I do believe too. I forget if it was him or like his sister's cousin or something, but I think one of the women involved, like maybe the actual mother of the child, I told them that I had a teleportation circle to Ambersand and I could get them back to it.
But I suppose that that all kind of remains to be seen at the moment.
Didn't you have the one for Blackbone Barrow as well?
I do. I do.
Which was a very hot topic of conversation.
Curious.
It takes time to learn that. I'm just
It does,
saying.
isn't it? It's not like, I just wandered by and saw that and I remember it.
That's not like you put a bit of paper on the ground and do a robin. This is like taking time to learn this.
Yeah.
Well, that will all be revealed in time, I'm sure.
It was revealed.
Well,
I said I was there. I copied the Ambersand one.
There was
no.
a
But
conversation.
the Blackbone Barrel one, that's all there is to it.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was talking about the Ambersand one.
So you said.
Damon wasn't. That was that little smirk over there.
Well, look, we'll see where that all takes us. I suppose the last thing that happened then before arriving.
Oh, someone's in jail. Sorry, no, it's absolutely related to this. One of them was in jail for like wrongfully being accused
Correct.
of being, was it La Hudoda? Like they were looking for
La Hudoda, yeah.
Yeah, the people who were looking for Alfred kind of like murdered an entire like wagons full of guards, like supposedly as one person without any evidence, and they were like wrongfully locking up the Ambersand people.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
There's something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So this La Hudoda character is a public menace to the Castonian people, or so you are led to believe, and as an act of, I suppose, safeguarding the populace. Anyone who is either has a kind of history of, affiliation with the Ambersand army or anything like that that's living in Castonia, they're being kind of rallied up and taken away for questioning. And that's kind of where Joris comes in to kind of liberate those wrongfully imprisoned.
Love of freedom fighter.
Yes, sir.
Hashtag
or yes, ma'am, should I say in this instance. On the road to Pethlin, then, you were also... Before I get to the very last point, that doctor we were talking about.
Dr.
Albright.
Dr. Albright.
Yeah.
He had tasked you with collecting some samples to help with creating a tincture or a cure. But it was discovered Damon went down into the basement of his kind of lab and discovered that he's actually dabbling in a bit of necromancy. His wife, afflicted with the Violet Madness, put in a state of stasis so she wouldn't turn. He's dabbling in some dangerous magic in order to save her life. But his memory was quickly wiped of all that as Dr. Albrecht cast that modify memory spell. But after a number of days, I think about maybe 8 or 9 days later, I think, that spell was actually broken, and Damon now remembers everything. But they're too far away from where he is right now to deal with it. But that's kind of where we left with that.
And then Shadar and Mina had their little altercation. Altercation is too strong of a word. Maybe like an argument?
A disagreement, maybe.
It's a little stronger than that. I don't know. What would you call it?
I don't know. I think I kind of feel like it meant more to Shadar than it did to Mina.
Sure.
Because
soulless and heartless and
Shadar is a
liar.
Shadar, I feel like
warlock taking advantage of the party kindness.
More of a sensitive boy. I feel like. I feel like. It's hard to tell whether it meant as much to Mina as it did to Shadar, given that we don't know what values Mina truly holds, and because she's very good at these moments, these social interactions, and so you really don't know.
20 charisma. I would have to be good at these interactions.
So you really don't know which Mina you're getting, whereas with Shadar, it's very obvious that you're always getting the same Shadar. So I don't think he really, he's really into lying about these kind of things. But yeah, it made a lot to him. It meant a lot to him.
It is literally easier for me to lie to you than tell you the truth.
Well, it's literally easier for you to lie to everyone than tell them the truth, but you're lucky.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Which is why after that altercation, Tyrion confronted her alone and basically demanded she sit in a chair before he takes her head and made her tell some truths.
Yes, that is entirely true. And then in retaliation, that's also the wrong word. At the conclusion of that little venture, Mina used some magic. She called Tyrion out by name, and I believe she got some of your blood as well, and cast Gias on you, which even though we all know you can, get rid of that with a greater restoration or something, it still was cool in the moment.
It was.
And I believe you're still under that spell.
Currently still active. It's more for her reassurance than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Paladin versus Bard, there's no...
Yeah.
There's nothing,
if a situation was come to light that she was lying and intertwined with Esmeralda, he'll bleed from the nostrils, ears, and eyes, and just push through it to take her head. Like it's only
literally,
pain.
Mina's just hoping that pain just gives her the little bit of whatever she would need to get away in case you snapped on her.
What's the casting time of teleport?
Not enough.
Not enough.
1 minute.
That is about 59 seconds too late.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking more like polymorph and go somewhere that he physically, because I mean, don't get me wrong, you're an astounding fighter and it's lovely to watch you in action. You can't fly.
Yeah,
think?
actually, I could make him fly.
Who
Well,
says I can? You looked at my books.
Hold on. If it's Party versus Mina, there was never a chance. If it's Tyrion versus Mina, the goal was polymorph and go somewhere else. That's why in that lovely conversation we had in the tavern, Mina kept maneuvering to the window, assuming she would have to fling herself out of it. Anyway, so Tyrion is currently under the Gia spell, which basically means he takes a whopping amount of damage if he so much as thinks about harming me, which is lovely. But
5d10 for any technical wondering who can't look up the spell.
You can handle that, no
Whopping.
problem.
Average of what, 22?
Yeah, he's in triple hit points. He's clearing that and swinging.
like I said, it's not taking you out.
Let's save his polymorph.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
No, the polymorph is for me.
Oh,
Like to fly away, not for you. I can't. Here's the fun fact. Tyrion's AC is so high, and his spell save, or not spell save, but his saves are so high, I can do nothing to this man. Absolutely nothing. Like half of my
Not
things
with
are
your
like
wisdom
the
rolls.
person thing.
Yeah.
Shush you. And half my things are like, oh, you make them afraid. Tyrion's immune to fear. I am useless. Not that I'm
built to
trying
kill. I'm
to fight.
sorry.
No, it's once again, you're lovely at what you do. It was just for the 2 or 3 sessions that I was like, Tyrion is going to try and kill me. I was looking at my character sheet like, and I'll die because there's nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so I've done the number crunch and it's not looking good.
On at least on several
done the number
occasions,
crunch
I've
and I
done
crunch.
triple digit damage, so it's quite reasonable.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Let's not forget
but-
as well that there's a dragon in the swamp.
There is
Yeah.
a dragon in the swamp that we cautiously
Good point.
sidestepped.
Well, we
And-
believe it's a dragon. That's just confirmation.
The
And
most
also-
important thing I think to remember is that Mark said we leveled up to level 13. Isn't that right?
I thought I remembered that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Not just yet, but soon.
And
I
also,
thought it was 14, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, we tried to have a three-way bath between Shadar,
That's right.
Mina, and
Yeah,
Damon.
true with that.
Oh my gosh!
God.
If
It
anyone
was
wants to
too,
see
we
that,
found out.
go and have a look at the TikToks.
Yeah,
Certified Panic is on full display.
Yeah.
I was
There's
poor
some-
Shadar was yeah,
But
we were
it's a-
staying in an inn and it was I think it was after a long adventure. Everyone was dirty and smelly and we were
Back in
Shadar
the beginning
likes
of the
his
adventure.
luxuries and went up to the only bathroom in the inn and it was occupado. And yeah, with Damon and Mina having a clothes off bath.
I just want
Do
to
you
point
have a
out
bath
that
with
we
your
were
clothes on
literally,
usually?
yeah,
Well, I mean, Shadar would if there's another person in the room, yes.
Shower
we were
shorts.
literally just washing. There was nothing else. I just putting this out
Yeah.
for
Oh
the
yeah, no,
audience.
nothing fishy. Nothing.
Now Shadar's okay with like he's a big fan of the bathhouse where he will walk around completely naked because there are rules, there's decorum, and there is an unspoken rule that there's no touching, there's no untoward sort of coming on to people and stuff like that. So he's happy and he's secure in his physicality, but this was something else. All bets were off. Two fucking horn dogs who were like absolutely
No,
like
there wasn't any of that.
There
That's the
wasn't
thing.
no, I
any of
know,
that.
but the two of you are horn dogs, and the two of you were in the fucking room. And then Shadar opens the door, and you're in the bath naked. She's running to the door, going, "Hey, come in and join us." come in and join us. And Shadar's like,
hold on.
no,
I
no."
walked there. You two were just talking long enough that I had time to wrap my hair in a towel,
Yeah.
walk out, and be like, you could just take a bath with him. There's room for two, we found out.
I was at
And
the
then-
door already naked. I was on the green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damon wanted to get his hands on your hair.
In the TikTok video, mercifully, there's bubbles covering his junk.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh
I wanted
my
to rub
gosh.
his. I wanted to rub his back.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fun
there's
fact.
a lot of
Nowadays-
shit happened.
Nowadays, Shadar does not like Mina nearly as much. He's so wary of her.
He
There
is
was-
kind of wary, yeah.
There was another
Um,
bath incident, but we won't talk about that one.
Yeah, like I mean, there's so much that's happened this campaign that
Oh, yes.
I know I was never going to hope to cover everything in an
Mm.
hour-long kind of chat about it, but we covered I think the main points. But there is one
Yeah.
last thing just to kind of bring everyone right up to where we left it off.
Mm.
Is that you arrived in Pethlin. The King of Gastonia is present in Pethlin at the moment. Pethlin is the
Oh,
capital.
I forgot about that.
So all of the dukes and duchesses from the dukedoms are all congregated here in Pethlin. So the security is at its absolute maximum. One of the duchesses is Damon's sister, he found out. Yeah. So there was an assassination on one of the dukes, and with no living heir, it convened to the houses of the different nobles within that area, and it was Damon's
Didn't
family.
Damon just try to tell us he was poor? If you're from a noble family, boo, that's not poor.
First of all, he never said he was poor. Secondly, he never said where he's from. Nobody's
Only
actually
rich
asked.
people say, I never said I was actually poor. I just said I wasn't rich.
I worked as a blacksmith for the Duke. Yeah.
If you think rich has levels, then you're out of this conversation already.
And the other thing is that Damon's known for a lot longer than you guys, because he found out back before we even went to Leyden, because there was that ogre in the. We met
so
the ogre.
you knew information and you didn't tell the party?
Yeah.
It was his
What's
own
this?
information.
Oh,
Yes, thank you.
Zing.
Fucking
Deep
warlocks.
burn.
With that, so a couple of things. In Pethlin, you know that Galfon de Lamess is here. He's presumably held up in his tower, which is next to the old palace, which was the old kind of throne room for the king went back in the day when Pethlin used to be the capital of Gastonia. But now, here, your first evening in Pethlin, Damon, you were visited by your sister in your room in the dead of night.
I went to see my
Indeed, you did actually.
my
Yeah, you
temple
went to
elder, who was basically the equivalent of Inspector Todd from Beverly Hills Cop. the sergeant or inspector that completely busts Axel Foley's chops, and he really he put Axel Foley, he put Shadar in his place, made him feel very small.
You did manage to convince him to give you an amulet of the devout.
I did.
So you put in justification for that.
Tough love.
Yeah, sure, it has to be done. He does recognize how good of a cleric you are, though. So that's fair.
He'll never say it though.
No, he'll never say it. That would be too encouraging. He needs to keep you sad.
Yeah.
But indeed,
Where his power comes from.
yes, indeed, yeah. That night, Damon, you were visited by your sister, and she had a task for you, a choice even. She needs your help with some family business back in Heple. And failure to comply would mean severe repercussions for you, my boy. She has tasked you with going to the front gate to the guard barracks, where you'll be presented with two choices, one of two boxes, one containing a moot to validate her aggression and vendetta against you. Should you reject, should you accept another one, a gift, a gesture of goodwill that may aid you in your task. But if you accept, you'll only have to go to Heple to find out. But that's down the line. But that's kind of where we left it off. Last time we played, I know there's a few other little bits and pieces going on. I know, Alfric, you were in the kind of library reading up on some books where...
Correct.
Yeah.
We've been working on the serum for the madness, right?
Right.
Madness,
Yeah. And I know, Tyrion, you went to the Temple of Torm, where you learned of a potential death knight in a local town that has been terrorizing the locals.
We did.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Barenthus.
Yeah, Brenthus, yep, correct.
He's got a sword that sounds very useful.
Yes, indeed. So that is your, I suppose,
Unholy men.
payment for services rendered should you vanquish this terror that is plaguing the town. And of course, Mina, you, I suppose, took your leisure back in your room for the evening. That's where we kind of left it off.
I think Yoris was his name, right? Like he's locked up right now, falsely.
No, Yoris isn't locked up. An ally
Who's
of
locked
his.
up? Oh.
An ally of his. That's why he's going to Pethlin to liberate him.
Okay.
So you haven't encountered him in Pethlin yet, but maybe you will. Who knows?
Who knows?
But that is the story thus far. This fungal outbreak sweeping through the Fenwell Dukedom. It's now crawling into the Tenno Dukedom, into the Venusta Dukedom. Hasn't gone near the Kalomas Dukedom yet, which is far east, but it is rapidly spreading, affecting animals, humans, and pretty much any living creature alike. Will we be able to put a stop to the madness? Well, that's what this podcast is going to find out. So I think we got a good lot of ground covered there, guys. I think we're pretty much up to speed. But of course, as I said at the very beginning of this, you can catch all of the prior episodes on YouTube, on the Emerald Collective channel on YouTube. Should you like to get into the nitty-gritty details of the adventure. But if not, again, as I said, if you're a recurring fan of the adventure, or you're just starting out from the outset, no prior knowledge will now be needed. And let the games begin. Let the adventure unfold.
Oh, shit.
Let the trauma flow.
Oh,
shit. The trauma. Shit, I wrote the book on childhood trauma.
Yeah.
I'm just rereading it.
Wow.
Well, then, we'll catch you next time for episode 1 of The Violet Madness.
Woo!
It was
Goodbye,
fun.
my darlings.